The end of my relationship with Caroline blindsided me. I had no immediate sense that I was being betrayed until it was a talk of the town. I wouldn't wish the emotions I felt on anybody. We were married for nearly 8 years, and before that we lived together as a family. But as the saying goes, no plan survives contact. I'd already divorced my first wife before I married Caroline, because I could no longer understand her in the after-M of that. I met Caroline, and I thought, here I am starting over, and I'm starting fresh. My wife, Natalie. Tired of living with an alcoholic husband, finally divorce him. She was staying at our country house for a time. Caroline stayed at home. I earned enough to keep us all in relative comfort. I dealt with the inventory, logistics of used cars arriving from Asia, which resourcefulness when I travel for work or when things malfunctioned. Caroline, meanwhile, was at home holding down the Ford. She was a wonderful cook, and our house was always clean and inviting. I always praise her when she worked hard, and I always came back from my trips with gifts for her and Natalie. Regardless of where I had traveled or how long I had been away, returning home also meant bringing fresh flowers. Caroline was a younger sister of Samuel, and they were an extraordinarily close brother and sister growing up. Samuel had a lot of lively friends, some of whom were notorious pranksters in their youth. Caroline, of course, was in this inner circle and knew David and Andrew and Ralph very well. When Samuel reached age 30, he wanted to celebrate the milestone among childhood friends and a few colleagues. The dinner party at one of the city's most popular but oddly named restaurants, which goes by V, was attended by about 20 people. When Caroline walked in, she told him, "Honey, I hope you're not going on another business trip. Will we be able to run V for Samuel's birthday day? Everything is going according to plan. I told her I'm not leaving until you got something righteous." Maybe in this nothing that we did not expect happened that night. I drove with Caroline to the restaurant in my best clothes. It was a night filled with laughter, dance, and fun. Caroline did excellent singing several different songs, and she had a gorgeous voice. But it was no surprise she had trained in music when she was young. Caroline wasn't the only person in the spotlight, though one of Samuel's friends was Andrew, a gifted singer, who was one of the guests. To be fair, the rest all Samuels had their charm. David was a lively dancer for his kind, and Ralph, with his ass-kicking jokes, could always send waves of laughter. Caroline danced with each at a time, going down the line for all their long friendship. I did not think much of it by then. I'd drunk just a little too much, but I still sang One Dead Horse song. Unfortunately, the drinks didn't help my performance, and I was at best mediocre. The guests, out of plain decency, applauded anyway. Andrew, however, reacted otherwise, as a tad peeved. He stood up, suddenly cleared his throat, and said in a loud voice, "Friends, tonight I want to do more than celebrate. I need to confess no, declare Caroline, and I will be together enough with the secrecy. You leave your businessman airline and come with me. I'm tired of our clandestine meetings when he leaves. It's time to lay this to rest. Once and for all." The room was dead silent. Everyone was stunned. Her face flamed bright red, then turned white. She shouted at him, "What the hell do you think you're doing, you fool? This is my life, don't ruin it." I ruled out V and stormed out. The country house was something I'd purchased long before marrying Caroline. So there at the doorstep that night, I resolved I no longer wanted anything to do with her, but I had come to like Natalie and to feel a connection with her. I also decided that I would try to be close to her, because I had no children of my own. Caroline came back in the early hours of the morning. She couldn't even look me in the eyes. There was a long, tense silence before she finally spoke. When we were younger, Andrew and I could have had a thing, but not my brother. He was like, no, he would just be a friend, never my husband. He was very clear. Andrew continued to hold on year after year, and he continued to hold me in secret. Natalie learned of this and threatened to tell her father she was good to her word. My first divorce, Natalie and I had a falling out, and we didn't speak for years. We made up only when she came to live with us. I told her that I didn't speak to Andrew anymore, but that was a lie. Her voice trembled, and she hesitated. I've been thinking about this all night. How can I fix everything you mean so much to me? And now Natalie considers you her actual dad. Please forgive me, I'm done with Andrew. But the love I once had for her was gone, destroyed. I couldn't forgive her, stuck in one of those awkward silences. I could only do what her first husband had done, what the husband or woman I thought of as a friend had done. Say a single word, leave, and in